Once upon a time, in a vibrant city, there was a lovely girl with a beautiful name that sounded like this. She lived with her mom and dad in a cozy home filled with books from all around the world. Her name was a very special name, a name that had been passed down in her family for generations. It meant sunshine and happiness in her native language. One day, her family decided to move to a new country. They packed their belongings, said goodbye to their friends, and set off on a journey to their new home. When they arrived, it was a bit lonely at first. Her mom and dad were busy unpacking, so she went to the nearby school to meet her new teacher and classmates. As she entered the classroom, she saw lots of smiling faces and heard many different languages being spoken. The teacher had a kind face with twinkling eyes. He welcomed her warmly and asked her to introduce herself to the class. She took a deep breath and said, "Hi, my name is Name." The children repeated after her, "Hi, Name." It felt good to be acknowledged and welcomed, but also a little strange to have a name that didn't sound like theirs. Over the next few days, she noticed that the children at school had all kinds of different names, some that sounded like hers and some that were completely different. At lunchtime, she sat with some new friends, and they began sharing their favorite foods. One of her friends, whose name was Name, brought some delicious-smelling rice and kimchi. Another friend, whose name was Name, shared some fresh fruit. And then there was Name, who brought a peanut butter sandwich and some chips. As she ate her food, she thought about her name. She loved her name. It was a beautiful name that had been passed down in her family for generations, but now she wasn't so sure. She wished she had a name that sounded like the other children's names, a name that wasn't so different. Just then, a little girl with pigtails and a bright smile approached her. "Hi, I'm Name. Do you want to come play with me and my friends?" she asked. Name hesitated. She wanted to make friends, but she was worried that the other children would make fun of her name again. Name noticed her hesitation and asked, "What's wrong, Name?" Name took a deep breath and said, "It's nothing. I just wish I had a name that sounded like yours." Name tilted her head and asked, "Why?" "Because I want to fit in," Name replied. "I want to have a name that isn't so different." Name placed a comforting hand on her shoulder and said, "Your name is beautiful. It's just different because you're different. And that's what makes you special." Name didn't know what to say, so she simply nodded her head. She knew that Name was right, but she still couldn't help feeling a little sad about her name. As she walked home from school that day, she passed by the local library. She had never been inside a library before and was curious about what it looked like, so she decided to take a peek. Inside, she saw rows and rows of books, each one with a different name on it. She wandered through the library, looking at all the different names until she came across a book that had a name similar to hers. She pulled it off the shelf and opened it up. As she began reading the story, she felt a magical sensation wash over her. She could feel the story coming to life and she was being transported to different worlds. Suddenly, the room began to spin and she found herself inside the book. She was surrounded by beautiful scenery and could hear the sounds of children laughing and playing. In the distance, she saw a group of children playing a game, and she joined in. They played until it was time to go. As they said their goodbyes, one of the children handed her a small jar. "Here, this is a name jar," he said. "When you're feeling down about your name, just open it and make a wish. It will take you on an adventure to the story and culture behind that name." "Thank you," she said. As she walked back to the library, she realized that she didn't want to go home yet. She wanted to stay in this magical place where everyone celebrated their names. She looked around and saw a group of children gathered together. "Hello," she called out to them. "Would you like to hear about my name?" The children nodded their heads excitedly, so she closed her eyes, made a wish, and stepped into the name jar.